Hello, this is your Zodiac Oracle speaking. There are no coincidences. You are here because life wants to show you a sign. Open your heart and receive the guidance that arrives for you today. Virgo. Sometimes the soul that seems the calmest on the surface is the one holding the loudest storm of miracles inside. You, Virgo, are not listening to these words by chance. There is a reason this message has found you in this precise instant, with this exact breath, after everything you have survived. Something or someone has been trying to dim your light, to make you doubt your own intuition, but the universe refuses to stay silent any longer. There is a warning here, a revelation about hidden enemies, and a promise of divine justice that is already unfolding behind the scenes of your life. And I tell you this with absolute clarity. Do not turn away, do not pause this message, because if you stay until the final word, you will understand the sign that appears in your path today and how it could completely redirect the course of your destiny. I begin to open the energetic space around you, Virgo. I feel a heavy pressure on the chest, like someone who has been carrying responsibilities, secrets, and worries that were never truly theirs to carry. You have been the pillar for others, the healer, the problem solver, the one who picks up the broken pieces. But who picks up yours? Spirit shows me people around you who smile to your face, but feel threatened by your growth, by your potential, by your light. Some of these energies are not obvious enemies. They may be family members, co-workers, old friends, lovers, or even someone that watches you from a distance, silently hoping that your plans fail so they can feel superior. They wear masks made of compliments and false concern, but their energy whispers something very different. As I turn over the first card, I see the Seven of Swords walking through your recent past and present. This is the energy of deceit, of things happening behind your back, of someone taking advantage of your kindness or your distraction. Virgo, you have felt it, haven't you? That uneasy sensation that something doesn't add up. A message that sounded off. A reaction that didn't match your good intentions. A promise broken without remorse. The universe is confirming. Your intuition is not paranoia. Your suspicions are sacred alarm bells trying to warn you. But don't let fear swallow you. Remember, where there is shadow, there is also light preparing to break through. I see the moon illuminating the Seven of Swords, showing illusions, lies, misunderstandings, confusion, and hidden truths rising to the surface. Some of you are about to discover a secret, a conversation that mentioned your name, an act of disloyalty, a hidden agenda. Do not be surprised if something accidentally comes to your attention. A screenshot, a comment, a slip of the tongue, a dream so vivid that it feels more like a memory than a fantasy. When this happens, understand, this is not chaos, this is divine revelation. You have asked for clarity, and clarity often arrives through uncomfortable truths. The universe is rearranging the pieces around you to show you who is truly loyal and who has simply been feeding on your energy. In moments like this you may ask, why does this always happen to me? Why do I end up surrounded by people who use my heart? But the message is firm. This is not a curse, it is a pattern. And patterns, my love, can be broken. There is a phrase forming in the center of your aura right now, like a decree, like a key that wants to unlock the door you've been pressing your forehead against for years. Hear it with your heart. Today I choose to break the chains and open my life to miracles. This is not just a sentence. It is a decision, a spiritual rebellion against everything that has tried to keep you small. Say it softly, say it in your mind, whisper it if you must. And if you feel the resonance of these words in your being, honor this moment. Thank the universe for guiding you here by giving this message a gesture of love, a simple like, as a way of declaring, I am ready to receive more signs, more guidance, more abundance. Because what you feed with your attention grows. When you align yourself with messages of light, doors you thought were locked forever start to crack open. I see you at the edge of a cycle that has drained you for far too long. Cycles of emotional manipulation, of financial scarcity, of settling for less than you deserve in love, work, and friendships. Spirit shows me a wheel turning, slowly at first, then faster. It is the wheel of fortune, the energy of destiny shifting, of old timelines closing, and new ones emerging. But here is the truth. For your destiny to change, your decisions must change too. You are about to be tested by life in subtle but powerful ways. The universe will ask you, will you choose yourself this time? When that person returns with the same excuses, will you open the door again? When that opportunity appears but requires you to betray your values, will you accept it? When your intuition screams, no, will you listen or will you silence it because you don't want to upset anyone? These questions are not theoretical. They are the very crossroads that define whether you repeat history or step into a new era. I see a card that glows with a quiet but unshakable power. Justice. Divine justice, karmic balance, truth. This energy is not vengeful, but it is fair. The scales that seemed tilted against you are slowly leveling. Those who spoke ill of you, those who laughed at your pain, those who used you and believed there would never be consequences, they are about to meet the echo of their own actions. You may not be there to watch it, you may not see it directly, but the effect will reach you as a strange, liberating peace. One day you will wake up realizing you no longer feel anger when you remember what was done to you. That is justice too. The power to move on without carrying the poison of resentment. But before that peace arrives, a moment of storm may appear. The tower rises in this reading, not as punishment, but as liberation. There may be a sudden change, an unexpected ending, a breakup, a confrontation, a job change, a move, or a revelation strong enough to shake the structure of your life. You may feel fear. You may even feel that everything is falling apart. But listen carefully, Virgo. The tower only falls where it was built on illusions, lies, or limitation. What collapses now is what was never stable. What was holding you back from the life you truly deserve. In love, I see patterns of betrayal, inconsistency, or emotional distance. You have given more than you received. You have waited for reciprocity that never arrived. You have begged in silence for someone to finally choose you the way you choose them. Some of you are healing from a heartbreak that still bleeds at night. Others are in a connection that confuses the heart more than it heals it. And I ask you with tenderness, how long will you keep trying to drink water from a dry well? How long will you call destiny what is really just attachment to pain? Spirit places the Queen of Pentacles in front of you. Your energy, Virgo. Stable, nurturing, generous, with a heart made of earth and hands that know how to build, heal, and create. You are not meant to beg for crumbs of affection. You are meant to share your life with someone who sees your worth without having to be reminded, someone who gives as much as they receive, someone who doesn't confuse you or make you feel like an option. For some of you, a new love energy is approaching, but it cannot enter a home still cluttered with the leftovers of the past. Before this person arrives, you are being asked to clear the emotional altar. Delete old messages that still poison your spirit, cut energetic ties, stop stalking their social media, stop creating stories of maybe one day they'll change. There is a turning point coming in your emotional life. For some, it will be triggered by a simple phrase, a small but sharp comment that suddenly makes everything fall into place. For others, it will be a gesture of neglect that becomes the last drop overflowing the glass. In that moment, you will feel the urge to walk away, to close the door, to reclaim your dignity. Do not fear that impulse. It is your higher self grabbing the steering wheel of your life. At the center of your heart, there is a soft but persistent whisper, I deserve more. That whisper is not arrogance. It is truth. It comes from the part of you that remembers your soul's contract. You did not come to this world to be the supporting character in other people's stories, but to fully live your own. So the universe says to you, Allow the endings that need to happen. Endings are not failures. They are spiritual graduations. As we dive deeper, I feel the energy of work and money beginning to rise, like a horizon brightening just before sunrise. You have been worried about finances, about stability, about whether your efforts will ever be truly rewarded. There is fatigue here, emotional and physical. You have done your best with what you have, but sometimes it has felt like pouring water into a cracked vessel. Yet Spirit shows me the Ace of Pentacles emerging from the earth like a seed finally breaking the soil. A new opportunity is preparing to enter your path. An offer, a job, a business idea, a collaboration, a client, a project, something that aligns not only with your need for income, but also with your values and talents. But here is the twist. It may not look exactly the way you expect. It may appear when you are about to give up, or through someone you underestimated, or in a field you never imagined exploring. That is why the universe is insisting that you remain alert, awake to signs, flexible in your expectations. Do not reject an opportunity just because it doesn't fit your original plan. Sometimes the door to abundance is hidden behind what looks like a detour. And once again, I hear that decree rising like a chorus in your energy. Today I choose to break the chains and open my life to miracles. Each time you repeat this, you are loosening the knots that tie you to scarcity, to fear, to self-doubt. Let this phrase be the spiritual password that unlocks your new timeline. Say it out loud if you can. Feel it in your body. And now, as a sign to the universe and to your own subconscious, write this in the comments as a public declaration, as a spell whispered into the digital sky. I walk away from fear and into my destiny. When you do this, you are not just typing words. You are carving a new reality into your own story. Your spiritual energy is in a powerful moment of rebirth. I see the star shining above the chaos of the tower, like a soft, healing light that appears after the storm. This card tells me that your prayers have been heard, even the ones you cried silently into your pillow. Your angels, guides, and ancestors have been closer than you think, guiding you through dreams, repeating numbers, songs that appear at the perfect moment, conversations that answer questions you never asked out loud. The veil between your world and the spiritual world is thinner than usual. Pay attention to the next days. You may see the same numbers again and again. 3, 8, 11, 17, 24. You may feel drawn to certain colors, particularly deep blue and soft gold, symbols of protection, wisdom, and abundance. Wear them, visualize them, surround yourself with them. In matters of work and purpose, justice appears again, this time not just as karmic balance, but as contracts, negotiations, decisions, official matters. If you have been waiting for news about documents, legal issues, approvals, exams, or something that needed a yes or no, this energy suggests that a resolution is approaching. It may require patience, but the outcome will reflect your honesty and effort. If you have acted with integrity, you have nothing to fear. If others have wronged you, tried to cheat you, or withheld what is rightfully yours, the scales are shifting. There is also a call here to claim your own value in the professional world. Stop selling yourself short, Virgo. Stop undervaluing your work, your time, your talent. The universe is asking you to raise your standards in money just as you are being asked to raise them in love. You deserve to be paid fairly, to work in environments where your contribution is respected, where your ideas are not dismissed. If you feel deeply unhappy in your current job, this reading does not tell you to act impulsively, but to start planning your exit strategy with faith and intelligence. Seeds of change are ready to be planted. Your only task is to stop telling yourself that it's too late or too hard. I see your spiritual energy wrapped in a battle between light and darkness, like a soul standing with one foot in the past and one in the future. The Devil card shows up, representing fears, addictions, toxic attachments, negative self-talk, criticism that turned into inner voices. This is not a demon outside of you. It is the part of your mind that learned to survive by doubting yourself, by expecting the worst. But facing the devil, I see strength. Your courage, your heart, the quiet, stubborn resilience that has carried you through every storm. This is the climax of your transformation. The moment you realize that the chains around your ankles were never locked. You can walk away. You can choose again. And so the decree returns, more powerful, more rooted. Today I choose to break the chains and open my life to miracles. Let it echo inside you like a drum, like a heartbeat that no one can silence. With every repetition, you are aligning with a promise that the universe has been trying to deliver to you for a long time. You are not destined to live in constant struggle. You are destined to learn, to grow, and then to enjoy. In love, I see a promise of restoration. If you are single, a soulmate energy approaches once you fully release the ghost of the past. This person comes with calm, not chaos. With clarity, not confusion. They may be someone grounded, hardworking, emotionally mature, someone who understands your depth and doesn't feel intimidated by it. If you are in a relationship that is healthy, there is growth. Plans for the future, moves, shared projects. But if you are in a connection that feels more like a battlefield than a home, this reading is a mirror. Either the dynamic changes now, or your soul will demand a way out. Money and abundance are also shifting in your favor. The Ten of Pentacles appears, a card of heritage, stability, long-term success. This doesn't mean you will wake up tomorrow rich out of nowhere, but it does mean you are building something that can last, something that can support not only you, but those you love. It may be a business, a new career path, a talent that you finally dare to share with the world. Trust the small beginnings. Every empire starts with a single brick placed with faith. Your lucky numbers vibrate around 3, 6, 8, 11, 17, and 24. These may show up in dates, addresses, times, or amounts that mark important decisions or opportunities. Your lucky color for this cycle is deep blue, the color of inner truth and protection, combined with hints of gold or yellow that remind you of your worth and your power to attract prosperity. When you dress, when you plan, when you decorate your space, use these colors with intention. Let them be a silent prayer wrapped around your body. The spiritual energy around you is heightening your sensitivity. You may feel more emotional, more intuitive, more aware of energies and atmospheres. This is not weakness. It is a spiritual upgrade. But remember to protect your aura. Don't absorb everyone's pain as if you had to heal it all. You are not the world's trash bin. You are a channel of light. Cleanse yourself with showers you imagine as waterfalls of white light, with incense, with prayer, with moments of silence away from noise and drama. As the energy of this reading begins to settle, a promise crystallizes at the core of your path. You are moving toward victory, love, and abundance. Not a victory that crushes others, but one that liberates you. Not a love that suffocates, but one that nourishes. Not an abundance that slips through your fingers, but one that stays because it is rooted in your self-worth, not in external validation. The universe wants you to know, the enemies you feared are not stronger than your destiny. The cycles that hurt you are not stronger than your soul. The darkness that tried to swallow you is not stronger than the light that lives in your chest. You are being guided, protected, and prepared for a future where your heart finally feels at home in your own life. Take a breath. Place one hand over your heart and one over your stomach. Feel your body here now. Whisper to yourself, as a final seal of this message, today I choose to break the chains and open my life to miracles. Let this be your key, your anchor, your shield. And if every word you heard resonated somewhere deep within you, don't let this moment pass like just another video, just another message. Seal this energy by writing in the comments, I walk away from fear and into my destiny. Save this reading to return to it whenever your faith trembles. Share it with someone who needs to remember their own strength. Offer a like, a gesture of gratitude not to me, but to the universe for speaking to you so clearly today, for reminding you that you are not abandoned in this journey. You are loved. You are seen. You are guided. And from this moment on, Virgo, may every step you take lead you away from chains and closer to the miracles that have always been waiting for you. You may not realize it yet, but something inside you has already shifted just by listening with an open heart. It's subtle, like the moment the night decides to surrender to dawn, but it is real. Your energy is no longer in the same place it was when this message found you. And that is exactly why certain people and situations in your life may soon begin to react. When the light intensifies, the shadows become nervous. When you start to love yourself more, the ones who feed on your insecurity feel threatened. Don't be surprised if someone who treated you with indifference suddenly becomes overly attentive, or if a person who rarely spoke to you starts to question your decisions, your plans, your dreams. This is not coincidence. It is the energy responding to your awakening. You are in the process of reclaiming something sacred, your own narrative. No longer the victim of circumstance, but the conscious co-creator of your life. And as your inner narrative changes from "I can't" to "I will," from "I don't deserve" to "I am worthy," there are forces that will attempt to drag you back into the old storyline. They may tell you that you're being selfish because you're setting boundaries. They may tell you that you're unrealistic because you're dreaming bigger. They may tell you that you've changed as if it were a crime. And you know what? You have changed. That is the point. Spirit shows me the image of you standing at a crossroads with two roads in front of you. One is familiar, full of the same faces, the same conversations, the same emotional hunger that never quite gets satisfied. The other is a road you haven't walked before. Quieter, clearer, but unknown. The first road offers you immediate comfort. The second offers you long-term peace. Which will you choose? This is the heart of your current spiritual test. The universe is not punishing you. It is inviting you to choose consciously what kind of future you are willing to build. I see the Three of Wands appearing, a card of expansion, vision, and future planning. This tells me that your soul is already looking beyond the walls of your current reality. You have dreams that don't fit in the small box other people created for you. You have ideas, talents, and projects that want to be born, and they are knocking from the inside of your chest. Some of you have been thinking about changing jobs, learning a new skill, moving to a different city or even country, starting something of your own, or simply living in a way that feels more aligned with who you truly are. You have delayed these dreams out of fear, of loyalty to others, or because you believed it was not the right time. But the message now is clear. The right time is not something you wait for. It is something you create by daring to take the first step. The enemy you face now is not just external. It is internal. It is that little voice that says, "What if I fail? What will people say? What if I end up alone?" This voice is loud because it learned to protect you by keeping you small. But protection is not the same as liberation. So I ask you, with all the love and firmness of a spiritual mother, how long will you allow fear to dress up as caution and sit in the driver's seat of your life? In matters of love, the cards insist once more on showing your heart's evolution. I see the Three of Swords slowly healing, stitches of light closing wounds that once felt impossible to touch. Some of you have forgiven people who never apologized, and that alone is an act of profound nobility. You are releasing the heavy armor you had to wear to survive certain relationships, and that means you may feel more vulnerable. Do not mistake vulnerability for weakness. It is your capacity to feel deeply that allows you to truly love and be loved. A turning point is approaching in your romantic life. For some, this may be a clear conversation where masks fall and the truth finally emerges. For others, it may be the sudden realization that you are done chasing what consistently avoids you. And there is also the possibility of a new presence approaching your orbit, someone whose energy feels strangely familiar, as if you had known them long before this lifetime. They may not enter with fireworks and grand gestures, but with a calm that feels like home. If you are still entangled with someone who gives you breadcrumb affection and emotional confusion, understand this. The universe will not deliver a blessing to a table that is already full of leftovers from what hurts you. Clearing space in your heart is not loneliness. It is preparation. Your emotional lesson now is about reciprocity. No more one-way streets where you are the only one making the effort. No more waiting in emotional waiting rooms where your needs are always postponed. From here on, love must feel like a two-way river, not a desert where you build illusions out of mirages. You deserve a love that does not make you doubt your value, that does not leave you guessing where you stand. Shifting into the realm of money and work, I see the Eight of Pentacles, a card that belongs to you, Virgo, with its meticulous, dedicated, diligent energy. You have been working hard, learning, refining your skills, even when no one applauded. Spirit is showing me small, consistent efforts that are beginning to gather momentum, even if you cannot yet see the results clearly. It's like savings you forgot you had, slowly accumulating interest. The universe is saying, not a single effort was wasted. The long nights, the days when you forced yourself to show up even when you were exhausted, the moments you chose discipline over distraction, they have all planted seeds. I also see the possibility of a financial opportunity connected to something you are naturally good at, something you may have dismissed as just a hobby, or not serious enough. This could be creativity, communication, organization, healing, teaching, crafting, or something that blends your practical mind with your intuitive gifts. Do not underestimate what comes easily to you. That ease is a sign of alignment. Where others struggle, you flow. That is where your talent resides. If you begin to treat this gift as valuable, the world will respond in kind. For some, a promotion, a job offer, or a raise is possible, especially if you have recently taken on more responsibility or shown leadership. For others, there may be a change in direction, a pivot toward a different field, a new company, or even self-employment. The energy is not about chaos, but about a gradual redirection toward places where your effort is appreciated and rewarded. If you have felt invisible in your current environment, know that this invisibility will not last forever. You are being pulled toward spaces where your presence matters. Your spiritual energy is going through what I can only describe as a deep cleansing. It is as if the universe has taken a spiritual broom and is sweeping out people, habits, and beliefs that cannot follow you into your next chapter. You may feel more tired than usual, more introspective, or more emotional. You might have vivid dreams, déjà vu moments, or sudden flashes of intuition. You may also feel called to spend time alone, away from noise and superficial conversations. Do not resist this. Your soul is detoxing, and like any detox, it can feel uncomfortable before it feels liberating. The Hermit card, your card Virgo, stands luminous in the center of this reading. It shows you not as a lonely figure, but as a wise one, walking with a lantern that illuminates the path not only for yourself, but for others. You are going through a period of inner reflection that will reveal truths about who you are and what you truly want. The world may see you as quieter, more selective, more reserved, but inside you, entire worlds are shifting. The Hermit reminds you that solitude is not abandonment. It is a sacred counsel between you and your higher self. In this inner silence, your intuition speaks more clearly. You may begin to distinguish very easily between what nourishes you and what drains you, between who respects you and who simply tolerates you. Decisions that once felt impossible may suddenly become obvious. The more you align with this inner compass, the less you will feel the need to justify yourself to others. You will stop asking, "Will they be okay if I do this?" and start asking, "Will I be okay if I don't?" This changing question is a revolution in your destiny. There is something else the universe wants to show you. The people you once considered enemies, those who betrayed you, abandoned you, or try to humiliate you, are unintentionally serving a purpose. Their actions pushed you toward boundaries, self-respect, and self-love. They forced you to awaken. In a strange way, they became catalysts for your transformation. You did not deserve the pain, but you can transform it into wisdom. You are not required to forgive them immediately or trust them again, but you are invited to free yourself from the burden of their choices. Their karma belongs to them. Your future belongs to you. I see the Six of Wands emerging, the card of recognition, victory, and triumph after struggle. This tells me that sooner than you think, you will walk through a moment where others will look at you and think, "I never imagined they would rise like that." You may receive public recognition, a compliment from someone you admire, or a visible improvement in your circumstances that surprises those who underestimated you. But the most important recognition will not be external. It will be internal. You will look at yourself in the mirror and see not the broken version of you that others tried to shape, but the powerful, resilient, luminous soul that you truly are. Spirit is also guiding you toward a deeper relationship with abundance. Abundance is not only money. It is time, health, peace, love, opportunities, support. You have lived in survival mode for too long, waiting for the next problem, preparing for the next disappointment. It is time to gently retrain your mind to expect blessings instead of disasters, to anticipate good news instead of bad ones. This does not mean becoming naive. It means refusing to worship fear. In practical terms, you may be guided to make wiser financial decisions. Paying off debts little by little, creating savings, learning about money management, or releasing the shame you may feel around finances. You are not a bad person because you struggled financially. You are not less spiritual because you want stability and prosperity. The universe does not want you to suffer. It wants you to grow. And part of that growth is understanding that you deserve a life where your needs are met, where you are not constantly afraid of losing everything. I sense that your lucky energy in the days ahead will be especially active around moments when you act from self-respect. Every time you say no to something that harms you, you are saying yes to the path the universe has been saving for you. Every time you choose rest over burnout, truth over silence, intuition over pressure, you are stepping into alignment. Notice how the atmosphere around you shifts when you honor yourself. Perhaps a call arrives, an idea lands, a message appears exactly when you need it. That is not random. That is the universe responding to your courage. There is a quiet but profound transformation occurring in your relationships as well, not just romantic ones. Friendships, family dynamics, and work alliances are being redefined. Some connections will deepen as you begin to share more authentically who you are. Others will fall away because they were only compatible with the version of you who tolerated disrespect. Do not cling to what is leaving. Trust that what remains and what arrives is in a higher frequency. You are being prepared to live a life that looks less like constant sacrifice and more like flow. A life where you are surrounded by people who celebrate your growth instead of feeling threatened by it. A life where you can work with purpose instead of dread, love with peace instead of anxiety, and wake up with gratitude instead of exhaustion. If your heart is trembling with recognition as you hear this, honor that trembling. It is not fear. It is your soul saying, "This is for us." If you feel called, once again write in the comments as a sacred affirmation, "I walk away from fear and into my destiny." Let these words become a living echo, not only in this moment, but each time you remember them. Save them in your mind, whisper them when you feel doubt rising. Let them become your answer when life asks you who you choose to be now. You are not standing at the edge of an ending, Virgo. You are standing at the altar of a new beginning. The darkness behind you has taught you enough. Ahead of you, there is a path lit by the lessons you have learned, the tears you have shed, and the courage you have cultivated. And step by step, choice by choice, you are walking toward the version of your life that your soul has always known you deserve. There is a moment in every awakening, Virgo, when the universe pauses to watch what you will do next. You are standing in that pause now. You may feel it as a strange tension in your life, as if everything is both moving and standing still at once. Some areas seem blocked, while others are opening in unexpected ways. This is not confusion. It is rearrangement. Spirit is moving people, situations, and even your inner beliefs like pieces on a cosmic chessboard so that you can finally step into a position of power instead of survival. I see you looking back at your life and realizing how many times you chose peace for others while sacrificing your own. How often you swallowed your words to avoid conflict. How often you stayed where your spirit was starving because you didn't want to disappoint anyone. But something is changing. That version of you, the one who accepts the bare minimum, no longer fits you. It is like trying to squeeze into clothes that once felt right but now suffocate. This uncomfortable tightness you feel is not punishment. It is growth. The cards reveal the world, a powerful sign that you are closing a long karmic chapter. This cycle has repeated itself in different forms. The same type of partner in a different body, the same work situation in a different company, the same emotional wound triggered by different people. It has been exhausting. Yet, here you are, having survived every test, stronger than you realize. The world tells me that you are reaching the end of a story that began years ago, perhaps even in another lifetime. You are not merely finishing a phase. You are graduating from it. But graduation often comes with one final exam. Spirit shows me one more situation, one last dynamic where you will be tempted to shrink, to tolerate, to silence your truth for the comfort of others. This is your test. Will you repeat the pattern, or will you choose differently this time? That person who always returns when you are healing may reappear. That job that drains you may offer you just enough to make you stay. That family member who belittles you may expect you to play the same role again. Do not be surprised. This is the universe asking, are you sure you're done with this? You answer not with words, but with choices. In love, there is a deep message unfolding for you. Spirit shows me the Two of Cups crossing your path. This is not just any connection. It is a soul-level bond, a mirror who recognizes you beneath your fears and scars. For some, this is a new person approaching, drawn into your orbit by the glow of your healing. For others, it may be a current partner with whom you are entering a more honest, balanced phase. But there is a condition here. This love, this union, this peace in relationship can only exist in a space where your dignity is non-negotiable. If you have been clinging to a connection that constantly makes you question your worth, understand that the universe is not being cruel if it removes that person from your life. It is being merciful. You are not meant to confuse love with anxiety, longing, or uncertainty. Love is not supposed to make you feel like you are begging to be chosen. A true union adds to your life, not subtracts from it. A true partner holds your hand when your shadows show up, instead of using them against you. You may notice that as you begin to demand more respect from yourself, those who cannot meet you there will slowly drift away or dramatically exit. It may hurt, but it is also a filter. Spirit is filtering your connections so that what remains is pure, reciprocal, and aligned. This is preparation, Virgo, not punishment. The universe knows that if it allowed certain energies to follow you into your next chapter, they would sabotage the blessings waiting for you. I see some of you stepping into a period of self-love that is not just aesthetic or superficial, but profound. You may start speaking more kindly to yourself, nourishing your body better, sleeping more, saying no without apologizing, prioritizing your emotional safety over others' expectations. This self-love creates a magnetic field around you that calls in people who resonate with your healing, not your wounds. Romantic, platonic, or professional, your relationships begin to upgrade when you upgrade the way you treat yourself. In the realm of work and money, the energy is gaining intensity. The King of Pentacles appears, solid and grounded, representing financial stability, maturity, and leadership. This can manifest as a person entering your path. Someone who guides you, mentors you, opens a door for you, or offers a serious opportunity. It can also represent your own future self, the version of you who is no longer just surviving from paycheck to paycheck, but building, investing, and creating a life with a stable foundation. You are being challenged to think beyond immediate survival and into long-term abundance. This may mean learning to say no to opportunities that exploit you, even if they offer quick money. It may mean planning, organizing, and structuring your finances with more intention. It may involve studying, upgrading your skills, or daring to charge what your work is truly worth. This is not about greed. It is about reclaiming the right to live without constant fear that the ground will be pulled from under you. Spirit shows me the 9 of Cups, a card of emotional and material satisfaction, of wishes fulfilled. There is something you have longed for, perhaps a specific amount of money, a change of career, a new business, a project, or even a lifestyle that feels more aligned. This desire is not foolish. It was planted in you for a reason. You are closer to it than you realize. The path from where you are to where you want to be is built not by giant leaps, but by small, consistent choices that honor your worth. If you feel called to start something of your own, a side business, a creative endeavor, a spiritual service, a project that blends your intuition with practicality, the energy is favorable. You do not need to have it all figured out at once. The universe responds to movement, not perfection. Even a small step in the right direction is a declaration that you are ready to collaborate with your destiny. Your lucky color continues to flow in shades of deep blue and gold, but now I also see touches of green entering your field, the color of healing, growth, and heart-centered abundance. Wearing green or surrounding yourself with it can support your emotional recovery and your money mindset at the same time. Blue protects, gold attracts, green heals and expands. Let these colors be like silent prayers you carry throughout your day. Your lucky numbers still resonate around 3, 6, 8, 11, 17, and 24. But I also see the number 9 circling you like a guardian, completion, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. Notice if these numbers appear in times, dates, prices, or addresses. They are gentle nods from Spirit that you are in sync with a path laid before you. Spiritually, you are stepping into a more mature phase. You are no longer satisfied with superficial answers or empty rituals. You crave depth, truth, practices that nourish your soul rather than just distract your mind. This may draw you toward meditation, prayer, journaling, energy healing, tarot, astrology, spiritual study, or simply quiet walks where you can hear your own thoughts. Honor these impulses. Your soul is asking for deeper conversation, for conscious partnership between your human self and your higher self. The High Priestess appears now, seated at the doorway between worlds. She represents your intuition, your inner wisdom, the part of you that sees beyond appearances. This is your reminder that you do not walk blindly. Even when you can't see the full path, there is a lantern inside you that knows where to go. When something feels wrong, even if it looks good on paper, listen. When something feels right, even if others don't understand it, listen. Your inner knowing is your most sacred compass in this season. You are being guided to trust subtle signs. The song that plays at the perfect moment, the random phrase you overhear that answers your question, the dream that feels too vivid to ignore, the strange calm you feel before taking a risky but aligned step. These are not coincidences. They are threads in a tapestry Spirit is weaving with you. There is also a powerful message about protection. Yes, you have had hidden enemies. Yes, there have been people who spoke against you, who projected envy, who celebrated your struggles in silence. But they do not have the final word. Your spiritual team is not asleep. You are surrounded by ancestors, guides, and guardians who have watched you walk through fires that would have destroyed others. They did not abandon you then, and they will not abandon you now. Some people who once seemed untouchable in your life may begin to experience the echo of what they sent out. This is not about you wishing them harm. It is about universal law. What is sent out returns. What is built on lies crumbles. What is stolen is eventually paid back in ways the human mind cannot always predict. Your task is not to monitor their karma, but to step away from their games. When you refuse to play, they cannot win. You are being led toward a life where you no longer feel like you are constantly defending yourself. A life where your peace is not a rare moment but your default state. A life where love is safe, work is purposeful, money flows more easily, and your spiritual path feels like home instead of a battlefield. And again, as a living spell, as a silent revolution whispered into reality, I invite you to write in the comments, I walk away from fear and into my destiny. Let these words be your sword and your shield. Every time you declare them, you are choosing your future over your past, your faith over your wounds, your truth over other people's expectations. If this message is touching the deepest parts of you, let your action match your recognition. Save this reading so you can return to it when doubts try to pull you back. Share it with someone whose soul is also tired of repeating the same pain. And as a gentle offering to the universe for such a clear and loving message, give this video a like, not as a hollow gesture, but as a symbolic act of gratitude, a way of saying, I receive, I align, and I am ready for more guidance, more light, more abundance. Because you are not just listening to a prediction, Virgo. You are participating in a prophecy that is unfolding through you. Every choice, every boundary, every act of self-love is you stepping more fully into the victory, the love, and the abundance that have always been written in your stars. And now, Virgo, I see something extraordinary. After so much shadow work, so much cleansing, so many endings and revelations, there is a dawn forming on your horizon that cannot be stopped. It is like the first light touching the tip of a mountain after a long frozen night. Your soul has been walking barefoot through shards of old stories, but ahead of you I see the path becoming softer, warmer, more welcoming. This is the point where many people sabotage themselves, because they are so used to pain that peace feels suspicious. But you, my love, are being asked to trust the gentleness that is coming. Not every calm is the silence before a storm. Sometimes it is the peace you prayed for finally arriving. I turn another card, and the sun rises in your reading with dazzling clarity. This is joy, success, illumination, and pure life force. This is your inner child being allowed to laugh again, your heart remembering what it means to feel safe, your mind finally catching a break from the endless cycle of worry. The sun tells me that there is an upcoming moment where everything will make sense, where the tears, the delays, and the betrayals will no longer feel like pointless suffering, but like the necessary tunnel that brought you into a brighter space. But here is the twist. The sun doesn't only speak of external happiness. It also exposes anything that was still hiding in shadow. In the light of the sun, nothing can remain disguised. This means that in the midst of your rising, those who never really celebrated you may reveal themselves through envy, sarcasm, or attempts to downplay your accomplishments. Don't let that dim you. When your blessings begin to show, some will applaud, some will stay silent, and some will try to twist the narrative. Let them. Your job is not to convince anyone that you deserve the joy coming your way. Your job is to live it fully. In love, the sun warms the ice that has formed around your heart. You have been guarded, cautious, sometimes even skeptical of the idea that real, healthy love is possible for you. But I see a chapter where you begin to experience moments of genuine happiness. A conversation that feels easy and honest, a connection that doesn't spike your anxiety, an interaction where you feel seen instead of judged. For those already in a good relationship, this energy strengthens bonds, brings healing conversations, shared plans, and perhaps a new phase of commitment or expansion. For those who are single or healing, the sun signals that your glow will attract people who are drawn to your authenticity, not your wounds. You may worry. What if this is too good to be true? But remember, Virgo, not everything that feels safe is a trap, and not everything that feels intense is love. You are learning to distinguish between emotional chaos and genuine affection. When something is true, your body may feel nervous at first, simply because it is new, but deep down there will be a sense of rightness, a quiet inner yes that keeps returning even after the fear speaks. That yes is your guide. In your emotional world, I see you forgiving yourself for what you accepted while you didn't know better. This is one of the most powerful shifts in your reading. You have punished yourself long enough for your past choices, your mistakes, your moments of giving too much. But the universe is whispering. You did what you could with the love, the knowledge, and the strength you had at that time. Now you know more. Now you are different. You are allowed to act from your new wisdom instead of your old wounds. In the realm of work and money, the Sun and the King of Pentacles create a powerful combination. Success through effort, recognition through authenticity, stability built not from fear but from alignment. There may be a phase of increased visibility. Perhaps your work is noticed by someone influential, your project gains traction, your clients grow, or your ideas begin to stand out in your environment. You may find yourself taking on a role of leadership or authority, even if the title doesn't change immediately. People begin to turn to you for guidance, trusting your judgment and your reliability. For some of you, there is a specific financial blessing forming. An amount of money that helps you breathe again, pay off something that weighed you down, or invest in something that moves you forward. It may arrive as a raise, a new contract, a bonus, a sell, a long-awaited payment, or a surprising opportunity that turns out better than expected. Stay open to receiving in ways that go beyond the channels you already know. The universe can surprise you through unexpected doors. You are also being urged to create healthier structures around money. Budgeting without fear, planning without fatalism, allowing yourself small and meaningful pleasures without guilt. Abundance grows where there is respect, not fear. If you have carried shame around money, because of debt, because of dependence, because of past mistakes, this is the time to release that shame. You are not defined by your lowest financial point. You are defined by your capacity to learn, adjust, and rise again. Spirit shows me the Chariot now, a card of movement, determination, and unstoppable forward momentum. This is you, Virgo, taking the reins of your own story. You may experience a literal move, a change of job, a new project, travel, or a decisive action that pushes your life into a new direction. The Chariot tells me that much of what you used to wait for outside, permission, validation, opportunities, will begin to manifest when you decide to stop waiting and start acting. You are not a passenger in your destiny. You are the driver. You may feel fear as you accelerate. That's natural. But fear does not have to be your tyrant. It can simply be a passenger you strap in, look at with compassion, and say, "You can come along, but you are not steering." Each step you take, no matter how small, sends a loud signal into the universe. I trust the path, and I trust myself. And the universe responds to trust with more doors, more signs, more aligned encounters. Spiritually, your energy is crowned by Judgment, a card of awakening, calling, and rebirth. This is the moment where you hear a voice, not necessarily literal, but a call in your heart that says, "Rise. It's time." Judgment is not about punishment. It is about realization. You begin to see your life from a higher perspective, recognizing that even the most painful chapters pushed you toward this version of yourself. You understand that you are not just here to survive, but to express something unique, to serve in your own way, to leave a mark that is authentically yours. You may feel called to change your habits, your environment, your routines, even your beliefs. Suddenly, things that once felt comfortable may feel stagnant. Places that once felt like home may feel too small. The music you listen to, the content you consume, the conversations you allow, they begin to shift to match your new vibration. Do not cling to old versions of yourself just to make others comfortable. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to outgrow what no longer feels true. As this transformation intensifies, remember to protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your inner workings, to your most vulnerable dreams, to your raw fears. Share wisely. There are those who will cheer you on, and there are those who will use your transparency against you. Your angels are reminding you, your heart is sacred. Treat it as such. In the middle of all of this, the universe wants a response from you. A conscious, intentional answer to this call. So once more, as a way of sealing this frequency in your reality, write in the comments, I walk away from fear and into my destiny. Let that phrase be your banner, the sentence that encapsulates everything your soul is choosing now. As you type it, imagine that each letter is a step away from your past and a step toward the life your heart has always whispered about. And if this message has felt like it was speaking directly to you, if you feel that this did not arrive by accident, but as a sign carefully placed on your timeline, honor that. Save this reading so you can return to it whenever doubt clouds your vision. Share it with someone you feel in your spirit needs this reminder of their own power. And as a quiet offering to the universe for having delivered this guidance so clearly, give this video a like, letting that action be your way of saying, I am grateful, I am receptive, and I am ready to keep walking this path of light, abundance, and transformation. Your lucky energies in this season gather around deep blue, gold, and green, truth, prosperity, and growth. Your numbers 3, 6, 8, 9, 11, 17, and 24 act like small cosmic winks, appearing to remind you that you are aligned. You may see them in unexpected places. A bill, a timestamp, a license plate, an address. When you do, pause for a breath and say quietly, I am guided, I am protected, I am on my path. Let this become a small ritual, a rope tying you back to your center, no matter what the outer world looks like. Above all, there is a promise wrapping itself around you like a cloak of light. You will not leave this season empty-handed. You may leave it without certain people, without certain illusions, without certain fears. But what remains, and what arrives, will be richer, truer, more aligned with who you really are. You are walking toward a life where love does not ask you to disappear, where work does not break you, where money does not constantly humiliate you, where your spiritual path feels like a warm, steady flame instead of a desperate search in the dark. The enemies that once seemed so big are shrinking in the light of your awareness and your protection. The chains that once felt unbreakable have already begun to crack under the weight of your decisions. The darkness that once convinced you that it was all there was is retreating, unable to stand in front of the power you are reclaiming. Take one more breath with me. Feel your feet on the ground, your chest rising and falling, your heart beating. You are here. You are alive. You have survived every worst day you thought you couldn't survive. And now, instead of merely surviving, you are being invited to live. From this moment forward, may you walk with your head a little higher, your boundaries a little stronger, your faith a little deeper. May you remember when fear tries to return, that there is a larger hand guiding you, a wiser voice whispering to you, a loving force that has never left your side. You are not broken, Virgo. You are reborn. And as you step out of this message and back into your day, carry this truth with you like a blessing. Your story is not over. The most beautiful chapters, the ones filled with victory, with real love, with true abundance, are still being written. And you, with every choice you make in favor of your own soul, are the one writing them. Thank you for allowing me to read your energy, your path, your heart. May the universe surround you with protection, open roads, healing people, and opportunities that overflow with light. May your nights be softer, your days more hopeful, and your future far brighter than your past. You are loved. You are guided. You are destined for more than you have suffered. And starting now, may every step you take lead you closer to that life your spirit has always secretly known was meant for you.